Hello there. Welcome back to EMS grade 9. In this video, I want to look at the question paper of November 2022. And we are going to look at paper 2. So this is our paper that we want to look at. So please, let's don't forget to subscribe and share to our channel. Let's share the link to our colleagues who are doing the grade 9 EMS. Going back to our question paper, we are going to go through our question paper. And then you'll see that all these factors are very important to take notes on this paper 2. And then also eligible. So remember, what you are writing should be something that is neat and something that the marker can be able to see and mark. So this is what we have on the instruction part. And then the amount of our topics that we have in the question they are listed here, whereby over the first part we have in all topics, and then section B we got the economy, section C we got the entrepreneurship. So this is what we have according to the allocation that we have here in terms of section A, B, and C. And then going to our question part, we're going to start with 1.1, which is multiple choice questions. And it reads 4 options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. Choose the correct answer and write only the letter A to D next to the question numbers. That is 1.1.1 to 1.1.5. In the answer provided, the example you are given on how to present your answer in the answer book. To prevent private businesses from manipulating the market in the planned economy, mixed economy, market economy, and then we've got also traditional private business is inside the setup. So basically, you're saying there is the market economy. Remember, private businesses, we find them in the marketing. You can see that there is government and also there's private businesses. We are seeing private business also being there. So it means it's a mixture, which means that the correct answer that we have there is a mixed economy. So we have B. Being a correct response. Then 1.1.2 is which of the following is in hygienic work conditions? Remember, this is a right to represent the worker. So they represent the worker, then this becomes out. The right to be treated equally also goes to workers, and the right to recruit members for business purposes. So trade unions are the ones that are recruiting the members that are going to be members. And then the right to work, obviously, it applies again to workers. So the correct answer that we have there is C. You go to 1.1.3, which reads good advertising strategies of goods and services can lead to A or N. A, you've got increase in supply, B, increase in demand, C, decrease in demand, D, you've got none of the above. But we see that if you've got good advertising strategies, it means we are going to attract more customers to come and buy our goods and services. So obviously, the demand of the goods and services is going to increase. So the correct answer that we have there is increase in demand. So we have got to B is the correct response. Then we go to 1.1.4. The following type of business is not part of the tertiary sector. So we are given different types of businesses, but we know that the tertiary sector is the sector of the economy and that revolves around the service and retail area. So if you go there, you will see that our question now is saying it's not part, which means some of them are part. So if you go to A, oil refinery, if you go to A, oil refinery, you see that oil refinery is in the secondary sector because that's where we have got the conversion of a raw material into a finished good. So basically this is out, and then we've got healthcare. It's a service, so it means it falls under tertiary. Wholesaler it comes in the form of a retailer, so it's also falls under tertiary. And then we've got financial institutions also they offer services, which is also under the tertiary. So which means A is the old 1.1.5. Which of the following is applicable to a business plan? Which of the following is applicable to a business plan? One is saying it is used to apply for finance. We know that business plan are used to apply for funding, which is correct. New and existing business. Remember, a business plan, it can be for a new business, and when it's a new business, usually is looking for funding. But when it's an existing business, it's a business plan that has been composed maybe due to maybe new projects that needs to be undertaken. So it's also correct. Then we go to number 3, describe how a business is going to achieve its goals. It also describes in terms of how it is going to achieve its goals. So this one is profits, which is very correct. Remember, in the business plan, we've got the financial projections section where you are going to anticipate the future expenses and the revenue that are not experienced in the business. So basically, this also becomes correct. So this all our statements applies to a business plan. So we go to our responses, we see that D is the one that is saying all of the above. So D becomes the correct response to here. We go to the next part of the question, which is now on matching items. We can choose only the letter A to H next to the question numbers. That is 1.2.1 up to 1.2.5 in your answer. And for example, you are given on how to present. So we go to our column A, it reads expose the business to potential customers by getting involved in community projects. So we can try to see which of the words that we have matches the first statement that we have, which reads exposes the business to potential customers by getting involved in community. C, we got public relations function. So you see that the public relations function it supervises and assesses a public attitude and maintaining mutual relations. So whenever we are maintaining mutual relations between the organization or the business with our customers or the public, it becomes a public relations. And also it looks after understanding that should exist between organization and its public. So basically, you see that it improves channels of communication. Basically, that's the explanation of publication, which becomes the greatest fit that we for the first part, which is what we provide. People move between countries, which can fit 1.2.2, but we are seeing that there's movement that is there for job opportunities. So basically, the interaction is there. According to our column B. But if you go there, you see that we've got if the same in open economy. In open economy, remember in open economy, we say it's an economy that involves in the exchange of goods and services with other countries. So basically, here we are obviously in terms of move between countries. So because basically it applies also for open economy. So we have E, and we have 1.2.3, which means plays a large role in the economy of developed countries. Plays a large role in the economy of developed countries. So obviously, we go again to try to see which one is the perfect match. We'd see that we have got tertiary sector. It plays a major role in the economy of developed countries. So HR becomes the most appropriate that we have. And we have trade unions and employers discuss rights of workers. So we have got workers. So basically, we look there, you'll see that we have got collective bargaining here, which is G. And you're also supposed to know that collective bargaining is a process of negotiation between employers and a group of employees. And usually they are aimed at agreements to regulate working conditions and usually remuneration. The remuneration we're talking about the salaries and wages. So those are the negotiations that will be taking place. That at the end of the day, they reach an agreement in terms of proper working conditions and also proper levels of remuneration, that is salaries and wages. So 1.2.4, the correct answer that we have is G. So we have got the G, which is our collective bargaining. Then we go to 1.2.5, rent, insurance, and salaries. So these are just expenses that we are given. But if you go to column B, we want to see now which term to which is that. Remember, fixed costs, we are saying these are costs that do not change with the level of production. Whether you produce 0 units, either produce 100 units, you pay the same amount of fixed cost. So rent, you are still going to pay rent whether you produce or not. So basically, it becomes a fixed cost. So we are saying B is the correct response that we get. Then 1.3 is the World Bank. We are going to go to the next section. We say use the World Bank below to complete the following sentences. Write only the letter correct answer next to the question number in the answer book. For example, we give 1.3.6 swimming as an example of how to present in the answer book. So very important to take note. So we're given a list of terms or words that are making the most is the main aim of production. So in a market economy, usually there's private ownership, remember, and every business who needs to operate is free to operate. So obviously, but you know that businesses are their main aim at the end of the day is to make profit. So we have profit here. So it means here we are saying 1.3.1, we have profit. So we can just try to present that as our correct response. So 1.3.1, we are saying our answer is profit. And we go to the next part of the question, which is saying is product. So this of advertising is related to marketing. So we have marketing here. So marketing. We go to the next part. One is of money in the economy. That we have relate households to consumers. Remember 1.3.3, we are saying consumers. Go to the next part, which is 1.3.4. In South Africa, this is an important industry in the primary sector. So we try to check which one to apply to the primary sector. But we know that the primary sector is involved in the extraction and production of raw materials, such as, for example, farming. It's an example of the private sector, and then also we have the issue of mining also falls under private sector. So let's try to see. So we have got fishing. Remember, fishing is part of farming. So we have fishing as the most appropriate that we have. So 1.3.4, we have fishing. Secretary's business. So, but it falls under administrative. Remember, administrative function. So 1.3.5, we are saying administrative. So this is what we have on the first part of our question. What is our question one of this question paper? So remember on this question one, our total marks we have got 20 marks. So very important to take notes. We have 20 marks consisting our question one. So we go to our question two. We try to go to our question two, try to see questions that we have. So on our question two, we are going to start. Our question is on economic systems. Very important take notes. The economic sphere is a mixture of private and government control. And it is government obviously it becomes a mixed economy. So on our response part, we are saying it's a mixed economy. So we go back to the next question. We say could be the reflect table in the market economy. We are given characteristics and answer, but we are told that this is a market economy. Remember, there's private ownership of resources in a market economy. So our characteristics, obviously, they are individuals. We have got individuals here because we're saying it's a market economy. There's private ownership is a good determinant. So it's that government doesn't determine the prices in the market economy. There, the prices are determined by the market forces. That are the market forces of supply and demand. That's what we have. Then, what is the government role in the economy? So the government role in the economy, we have a little intervention in terms of the one we say the changes of supply and demand, which determine the prices in a market economy. So basically, that's what we have on the first part. So we go to 2.3. The following cartoon, you're given a cartoon that you're given there, depicts the planned or command economy motivated this statement. But we are seeing that we are giving a man that is sitting on a chair, and then we are seeing that below that there are buildings that are there, which are representing sort of a city that we have. So basically, this is we are seeing that this is a representation of the country that we have below. So this man is sitting on top of the set. So basically, it shows that this man is controlling whatever is happening below, which is the buildings that we are having, and from the look of the sitting position, it shows that there is control that is taking place there. So but basically also if we are saying it depicts a planned or command economy. So remember, in a planned or command economy, government determines everything. So it means the picture of the man sitting on a chair represents the government. So we have this question, and then they are saying motivate this statement that it's a planned economy. Obviously, we are saying the government controls everything, represented by this man sitting on a chair. That's the description that we are just going to give. Then 2.3, you see that correct response that we have is that the cartoon illustration shows the country being controlled or ruled by a single higher force, which is now the man that is sitting on the table, which can identify as the government. In a planned economy, the government has full control and makes all decisions. So basically, that's the explanation that you can give on your answer section in terms of the cartoon that you are given here. So basically, that's what we have on question 2. So we try to move again to see what we have on question 3. So this is our question 3. So question 3 is on the circular flow. And we start the following circular flow diagram in other questions that follow. So we are seeing that we have got a different market, but different participants that we have in the economy that we have in that picture. So we can take notes of that, of those market participants that we are having. Remember, we have got the households as a participant in the economy that we have here. So businesses being a participant, government also being a participant. But we are seeing there are arrows that are there that are showing movements that are taking place in the economy. So basically, the first question is saying discuss the flow label P in the above, showing that there's a movement that is taking place from businesses and are going to households. So what moves from business to households? Obviously, the probable that moves from business to households is that households buy goods and services from businesses, and then they give businesses money and they receive the goods and services. So B can represent goods and services. Or on the other hand, the households can provide labor to the households. When they provide labor, the households they are paid wages and salaries. So the movement again of B can be also wages and salaries. So we have got two options. You can just say goods and services, or you can say wages and salaries. So this is what we have. So go to other section and try to set it on 3.1. You see that the response that we have on 3.1 is saying businesses sell goods and services to households, uh, which is one of the responses, correct responses that we have. So it can be movement of goods and services. And also, second option is saying businesses employ individuals from households and pay them salaries and wages in exchange of labor. So this can be another answer that you can also provide. Remember, on 3.1, so it means you are supposed to provide all this and salaries and wages. So basically, that's what we have. Then we move on to the next part of the question, which is 3.2, which reads, government plays a role as both producer and consumer. Explain how this role is achieved as both producer and consumer. So remember, the government produces the public goods. They produce the public goods that are given to the country. And then they also buy goods and services from firms that are producing. It might be in the form of equipment that they use in the infrastructure or development. They buy the equipment and the machinery from the firms. So in that case, it would be now the consumer. So basically, that's the explanation that we can give from that context. So going to our answer section to see the presentation of our response. Being a producer, on the first part, we have a representation of a public goods and services. For example, we've got roads, healthcare, and the producer. So these factors of production from households and buys goods and services from businesses are successful. So basically, now you can have also the government buy those goods and services from businesses. So that's what we in terms of government being the consumer. So this is the response that we have in terms of our 3.2, and this is the end of our question 3. So we are now going to our question 4. So this becomes our question 4, and this question is on price theory. So we can just try to see what we have there. So this is our question 4. So our question is for the first part, it says take the law of supply. So the law of supply, we should take note that the law of supply, it's a relationship that exists between two variables. That is, we have got the price and the quantity supplied. So these are the two variables that we have that shows the relationship, which is depicted in the law of supply. So basically, what it says is if the price of goods and services increase, obviously the firms and businesses are going to earn more revenue if they sell the products because they're going to sell at a higher price. And it's going to motivate the businesses that are producing the goods to produce more goods, so because they are earning more revenue. So quantity supplied also will increase. So this shows a positive relationship that exists between price as a variable and quantity supplied as a variable. So that is what the law of supply depicts. So basically, that's what we have. So this is the explanation that we are just going to show on your answer section. So we go there on 4.1. You see that the explanation that we have is saying law of supply is when the price of a product increases, the supply for that product will increase, which shows exactly as we explained. And when the price of a product decreases, the supply of that product will also decrease. So in other words, those two variables move in the same direction. So that's the positive relationship that exists between those variables. So we go to the next part of the question, which is saying study the demand and supply graph below, showing the demand and supply of popcorn. It's at a school fundraising event and answer the questions that follow in the answer book provided. So we are given a picture of popcorn, and then we're given the demand and supply of popcorn there in the form of a graph. And then obviously A is also obviously going to depict our demand curve. This is demand curve. This is going to be our demand curve or inverse relationship negative slope. And then our positive slope from supply that we just explained, which is showing a positive slope. So this one is the supply at a price of 8 rand. Price of 8 rand is here. So the Bags of coupon which the consumer is willing to buy finds in the demand curve. Demand curve represents what is of each you go with each trade, and then where it is crossing the demand curve is where we're going to find the quantity. So it's here. So when you reach where we have the demand curve, you now go down to the horizontal axis to see what we have. So you see that we have got 30 here. So it means we have got 30 bags. So it represents our 30 bags. So going to the next question. Identify the price at which the supplier is prepared to supply 20 bags of popcorn. Identify the price at which the supplier is prepared to supply 20 bags. So 20 bags, we have it here. So basically, we are saying, maybe we can just try to clear. So basically, I said 20 bags are here. And then the question is saying, it's saying supply. So we are going to go where it's going to intersect with the supply curve and see that it's meeting the supply curve. And if you go this direction to see the price now, 2 and then got 4. And this one is in the middle between 2 and 4. And obviously, this is going to be our 3. The answer that we have there is going to be our 3 rand. We are saying 3 rand. Then we go to 4.23. What is the point C called? Point C is here. And you see that at point C, that's where we are having the intersection of the supply curve and the demand curve. That is B and A, the intersect here. So obviously, the intersection point is a point of equilibrium. So it's equilibrium. We have equilibrium. So here we can just indicate it as equilibrium. Curve A or B is a negative slope. So we've just explained that a negative slope is shown by A. A is showing a negative slope, which is the demand curve. Why is it a negative slope? Is because the two variables, that is price and quantity, move in the opposite directions. That's why we are saying it's a negative. So we are saying if price increases, quantity demanded will decrease. So basically, it can be explained from the movement from 6 rand to 8 rand. And you're going to see that quantity demanded is going to fall at 6, the quantity demanded to now 30. So it's when price increases from 6 to 8, quantity demanded will fall from 50 to 30. So basically, that shows an inverse or negative relationship. So that's what we have. And then we go to 4.4, create an example of a situation where you or someone you know has made a decision based on the law of demand. So basically, you're just going to give an example whereby the price has increased and we are going to purchase a lesser quantity of the product because of the increase. That shows an inverse relationship, which is shown by the law of demand. Or you can explain it on the other hand, conversely. That is saying, if the price decreases, obviously the quantity that you are going to buy will increase because it's now cheaper. So basically, that's how we are going to present it. So we go to our answer section and we are seeing the response that we have said. The example that we have is just John wants to buy 1 packet of sweets. So the supermarket is a markdown special with 5 rand off the normal price. So the number, the price that we have for our sweets is now decreased by 5 rand. So obviously, it's now cheaper to buy. So more units are going to be bought, or more packets of sweets are going to be bought. So on the last statement, saying he buys 4 packets instead of 1. So the decrease has caused the price to be cheaper, and John can now purchase more packets of sweets. So basically, that's what we have on our question 4, and this marks the end of our question 4. So we move on to the next question that we have. Try to see in terms of our next question. Right. We go to our next question, which is going to be our question 5. So this is going to be our question 5. So our question 5 is on trade unions. It is saying refer to the extract taken from an online article for trade unions and answer the questions that follow, which is a business tech article. And then it reads, unions call on millions of workers to stay at home for a joint strike election in South Africa. They are given a picture, obviously, of people that are on strike. We are seeing the police in front, and this is the correct setup that we have when there is an industrial action or strike. Then believe that it leads that the Congress of South African Trade Unions, which is COSATU, says it is finalizing and intensifying its national mobilization efforts in the build up to its national strike set to take place on Thursday, in bracket 7 October. Then 5.1 is discuss the main purpose of a trade union. Well, obviously, we know that a trade union works on behalf of the employees or workers. So obviously, they are fighting for better working conditions for the employees and also better salaries and wages. And those are typical explanations that we can try to bring in. So we go to our other section and try to see explanation that we have in terms of the purpose of trade unions. So the main purpose of trade unions is to protect the rights of workers by negotiating with the employers on behalf of the employees. So they negotiate. So the negotiations are the ones that are now based on working conditions, uh, salaries and wages. So basically, that's what we have. So this becomes the correct explanation on the purpose of trade union. So we go to the next question. Is say statement from the above article that proves that. So we try to look at a statement that proves that COSATU is the largest trade union. We have. Let's just try to see. We go down. Right. If you see that it's the Congress of South African Trade Union, which is COSATU, says it is finalizing and intensifying its national mobilization efforts. So it has the power to make a national mobilization. So that shows that it is above all the trade unions. So it can control all other trade unions. So this statement actually shows that. So that's how we can deduce that COSATU is the largest labor federation in the country. So we try to see according to the explanation that we have on another section. Say COSATU says it is finalizing and intensifying its national mobilization. So basically, that's what we have. Then we go to the next part of the question, which is now our 5.3. Comment on the negative effect that this strike could have on businesses. Mention 1 point. Obviously, it's going to reduce production is going to go down since the workers are there striking instead of producing goods and services. So obviously, it's negatively affect the quantity that is going to be produced. So we can just try to see. Remember, the question is only looking for 1 point. It is was 2 marks. So basically, we can pick 1 point that we think is appropriate. So these are the points that we have. The business output or production levels will decrease. This can be one of the responses. And then we can also include the business will lose income or sales due to the poor produced products can lead to unhappy because it's motivated and unhappy if their needs are not met, resulting in poor performance. Business may need to pay more money towards workers. Obviously, if the trade unions are successful, it means workers are going to be paid more salaries and wages, and it's going to be an increase in the expense of salaries and wages on the part of the employer. So profits margins are going to be contracted or lessened. So this is what we for this part. We'll go to the next question. Discuss how trade unions contribute towards sustainable growth and development in the country. So also we try to describe how trade unions contribute towards sustainable growth and development in the country. So according to the response that we have here, let's try to see. Saying trade unions aim for workers to have a good standard of living by ensuring that their social and economic needs are met. So there is the issue of economic development. Remember, they'll be fighting for better wages and salaries. So it means also the quality of life of workers is going to be enhanced if they are successful in their negotiations. So it becomes economic development. So that's the sustainable that we have, sustainable development that we have in the country. Then you've got happy and motivated workers work efficiently, resulting in higher levels of production. Economic growth again can be a result. So you've got the issue of economic development and economic growth. Economic growth explains the increase in the total monetary value of goods and services that are being produced in the country. So since the workers are now motivated, they can produce more. And when they produce more, we're going to see an increase in the aggregated production of goods and services in the country, which is going to lead to economic growth. Economic growth is simply the increase of goods and services being produced from one period to the other. So that's what we have on this part, which is our question 5.4, which marks the end of our question 5. And obviously, we now want to move to question 6. So moving on, you'll see that this is now our question 6. So our question 6 is on entrepreneurship, which is question 6 specifically is sectors of the economy. The first one is saying choose the correct word from the brackets. We are given skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled. Labor is mainly found in the private sector. In the private sector, usually we find unskilled labor. We'll see that unskilled labor is the one that is mostly found in the private sector. Why? Because the type of job that is being done in the private sector is not much need of skill. No much skills are needed in the type of work that is done in the private sector. That's why we see unskilled labor we are being more concentrated in the primary sector. So 6.2, refer to the business logos below. Identify the sectors of the economy to which each of the following below. Sector of economy. So we can just try to see which sectors can we relate to. So we start with our Coca-Cola company. Obviously, this one is in the manufacturing. And manufacturing is in the secondary sector. So this one becomes secondary sector. Secondary sector. Remember, the secondary sector, the explanation that we give of the secondary sector is that it's an economic sector. It is three sector theory that describes the whole manufacturing. So basically, there's manufacturing, the conversion that takes place from inputs of raw materials to finished products. So basically, it transpires in the Coca-Cola company, whereby you've got the manufacturing of beverages. So you go to 6.2.2, we've got Mr. Price. We have got Mr. Price. So Mr. Price, we know that this one is a retail outlet, and obviously we relate it to the tertiary. And the tertiary is the sector of the economy that revolves around service and retail. So we are saying Mr. Price is retail, so it was adaptation. So we go to our answer section, you can see that for the answer section, we are saying the response that we have. We are here and we are saying on the first part, 6.2.1, we said secondary sector, and we said tertiary on the second part. And we go to the last part, which is now saying we have got the SACMH, which is the South African Coal Mining Holdings Limited. Remember, I said mining involves the extraction of minerals below the ground. So basically, we said this falls under the primary sector. So obviously, we have a primary sector there. And we know that the primary sector is any industry involved in the extraction and the production of raw materials such as farming. We want also fishing, falling under that. Mining also falls under primary sector. So this one is the primary sector. So we go on and try to see in terms of the next question is now going to be our 6.3. So on our 6.3, we go to our question. And 6.3 reads, tomato sauce is a product that is commonly consumed in the main household. So you're given tomato sauce in the form of a picture there. And then beneath that, it reads, draw a flow diagram explaining the various stages involved in the production and distribution process that tomato sauce would have passed to finally be in the consumer's hands. And then your flow diagram must include one, the name of the sector and the description of the sector. And then 6.3.2, how the product in the question is directly involved in that sector. And then we are given a note, you do not need to draw pictures. So do not just maybe present it in the form of a table, whereby you're saying 6.3.1, you give the name of the sector and description of the sector, and then how the product in the question is directly involved in that sector. Obviously, tomato sauce is manufactured from tomatoes. So obviously, the agricultural activity of tomatoes is going to be the primary sector. And then when it's now being converted to tomato sauce, it becomes the secondary sector. When it's now being sold now, it's now in the retail, it now becomes the tertiary sector. So basically, those are the stages that we are just going to describe. We go there and see what we have in terms of conversion of tomatoes into tomato sauce. So 6.3.1, we have got the primary sector, which is the extraction of raw materials. And what do we have there? That's where we've got tomatoes are picked in on the tomato farm. So this is the activity that is happening in the primary sector. So we're saying it starts in the primary sector, where we have the tomatoes that have been grown and then they are harvested. This is then we have tomatoes materials are being converted into final product, and that's when you are going to see that the tomatoes packaged. So that's the activity that will be satisfied in the secondary sector. The tertiary sector now is the distribution and sale of the final product. So in terms of what tomato sauce is distributed and sold to wholesalers, retailers, and eventually reaches the consumer. So that becomes the tertiary. So this is the representation that you can just represent on your answer section. Then so this becomes the last part of our question 6, obviously 7. So this is our question 7. So on our question 7 is on business functions. And the 8 business functions, these are the 8 business functions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 business functions that we have there. Then 7.1 is why do people in businesses perform business functions? Why do business Why do people in businesses perform business functions? But we know that business functions are activities carried out by any enterprise. They can be divided into various core functions and support functions. So basically, examples of functions, that's the ones that we have here. We can have purchase function, financial function, general management function, publication function. So the explanation of business function is the one that we've just explained. So our question is saying, why do people in businesses perform business functions? So obviously, it's a matter of division of activities that should be there in that organization. So according to our answer section, this is now our 7.1. We can just try to see in terms of our response that we have, why do businesses perform functions. We have got the reason is here so that the business can achieve its objectives and operate efficiently. And obviously, this is achieved through the issue of a division of activities, whereby we've got specialization of activities in different functions. So this is what we have. So in other words, also it represents coordination that should be there between the different functions. So this is the explanation of the reason of business functions. So we go to our next part of the question, which is saying below are the job descriptions of certain people within a business. Identify the business function in which they belong. So we are just going to go through each and every statement, try to see which business function to apply that. So obviously, we're going to pick from this business function that we are given here as our eighth business function. The first one is saying, well, you make sure that there is enough stock on the shelves. So obviously, the business function that relates to that is the purchases function. This function applies to 7.2.1. Then we go to another section and to see that we have the purchases function is also 7.2 makes consumers aware of the business and products they sell. So the process of making sure that customers are aware of our products and the benefits of consuming the product, again, we call it the marketing function. So we have the marketing function, we have our 7.2.2. So we're saying marketing function. And then we go to the next one, which is saying 7.2.3, Taban organizes training and skills development courses for employees to attend. Obviously, this is the human resource function. So human resource function, remember, is the one that is responsible. It's a division of the business responsible for recruiting, screening, and training of employees. So we have a human resource function in that regard. That is our 7.2.3. So we come here, we've got human resource function. So we go to the next one. Joe is responsible for manufacturing high quality goods quickly and efficiently. So this is the issue of manufacturing. And obviously, if you come here, you see that we've got production function. So this is a production function, and this is the last part of our short explanation that we are given. The 7.3 explain the function of general management. So general management basically is the one that oversees the activities that are transpiring in the organization. That's the general management that is obviously headed by the general manager. So in other words, it coordinates all activities that are transpiring in the organization, is the overseer of whatever is happening in that organization. So 7.3, we'll try to see what explanation we have. The function of general management is to manage and oversee the other business functions. Is correct. Make sure that the business achieve its set goals and objectives. Next one, plan, organize, lead, and control. And then next one, ensure that the functions work together and communicate with one another. That's the issue of coordination that we're talking about. So if you go there, you'll see that our question is got 2 marks. So you just pick 1 point from the points that we have here. It's enough to get your 2 marks for 7.3, which we are having is our 2 marks. And 7.4 suggests one way in which the production function can reduce costs within the business. Reduction of costs. Obviously, in the production function, we said that's where we have got the manufacturing of the product, the conversion of inputs or raw materials into final product. So how can they reduce costs there? Obviously, the issue of efficiency is very important in the production function. The issue of efficiency is very important in the production function. Efficiency, we are saying producing at the lowest possible cost. Very important because we are going to reduce wastages. That's how we are going to reduce cost. We produce at the lowest possible cost by reducing wastages. So that can be also a way to reduce costs in the production process. So we can just try to see according to our response what we have. For the 7.4 is saying making sure that there is no wastage of materials. That's exactly as we're trying to say, which is the basic concept of efficiency. And then secondly, by using production methods that are cheaper. Also, our production methods that we use to be cheaper so that we minimize the cost. So this is the end of our question 7. So we can go to our question 8. So on question 8, we are given the information that we are given here that you need to go through before you answer the question, and it's on business plan. Read the following case study and answer the questions that follow. The main strategy is on ice cream business with 350 rands grant and now employs 4 people. So you can go through everything in terms of the information given, the case study that you're given here before you start to answer the question. So we have what white case study that we are given that you need to go through. So after going through this case study, now you need now to go to the question part, whereby the first part of the question, I say how much of capital did Tando initially invest in SD business? It's very simple. We go back, you will see that we are told about that money a year, 350 is the math. So the 350 rands grant. So we are saying that was given to this person. And then, but if you go down there, we see a big total that with only 700 rand saved from economy, a 350 rand contingency grant. So obviously, this becomes the total amount that was used. So we can say, according to the question that we are having, the question is saying, how much of capital did Tando initially invest in the business? 1 mark, and we see that it's 700, but it came from 350 rand that was being given. So it means there are savings that were there so that the man reached 700. So basically, that's what we have on the first part of the question. Then second part, name one form of social media mentioned in the case study that was used to advertise the ice creams. So you go again to see social media that we are given there, social media that you can try to locate. But quickly, you can see that there's Twitter. I changed my Twitter photograph account to Soweto Clipper. So obviously, Twitter, we have seen WhatsApp also. It's a social media platform. So we've identified that Twitter and WhatsApp. So basically, the question is asking needs one form. So you can just use Twitter or WhatsApp. So according to the answer section, you'd see that we've got WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter. So we've got also Instagram mentioned in that case study that we are given. Then I'll go to the next question. Identify 2 strengths that Tando displayed when setting up and promoting his ice cream business. Identify 2 strengths that Tando displayed when setting up and promoting his ice cream business. So you go to the case study again and try to identify the strengths that are there. If you go through, you can just try to read again, try to see where you can identify the strengths that you have there. So if you go down your case study, you would see that here is saying currently Makubu is 4 employees. So basically, the issue of that there's way that we can also deduce. So workers are already there, that becomes a strength. Then also, if you look at the issue of marketing, he knows how to use social media platforms as a marketing strategy. So that becomes also a strength that he can also utilize it so that the business can grow. So that is also those are some of the strengths that you can also include. So going to our other section, you see that the first one is saying he is a professional photographer. He helps people to take good photos for his product. So this can also be one that we can deduce from the case study. Remember, the question is only asking for 2. Then you that we picked, and then you need little but sufficient money to start the business. So we see that in the beginning of the case study, we are informed that there was money that was there to start the business, which is also a strength. Then he had little but sufficient money to start his business, which is running the business. So these are again the other one that we picked. So the other 2 are still there that we can also refer to. And if you manage to quickly pick them, you can also include them. So on the next part of the question, which is now 8.4, it means how do we know that the business is grown substantially? Mention 1 point. So obviously, we need to refer back again to see evidence that. So if you come here, You come here, you would see that it reads after official opening in August, it keeps the same. The company generated sales of about 10,000 rands within a few weeks. Within a few weeks, sales of 10,000 rands were generated. So this becomes and the evidence that the business has grown. So going to our answer section again, you'd see that the first one saying the company generated sales of about 10,000 rands within a few weeks. They invested in more equipment, freezer, waffle maker, commercial blender, milkshake maker. So basically, this is now coming from the 10,000 rand sales that were generated. So basically, that is shows that it is growing. And then also another point that is correct is the business now has 4 employees. So to be able to pay those employees also can be also the evidence that we can put down. So I'm going to the next part of the question, which is now going to be 8.5. Quote the sentence that makes mention of a long-term goal set by Tado for his ice cream business. Obviously, we have to make sure that we locate that statement. You can go back again and try to see. So if you try to go down, see that the statement from here saying the next step will be to roll out franchises across the country and work in a even bigger thing. So this is the one that is showing. Go to our question. It's showing long-term goal set by Atando for the ice cream business. So basically, we can just revisit that goal, which is saying the next step will be to roll out franchises across the country and work in a even bigger value. So this is basically the segment that is showing the long-term goal. So basically, we go now to our next question that we have, which is 8.6. And he said, advise emerging entrepreneurs on what Tando Makubu meant when he stated that social media is very powerful, so they need to put in a lot of effort in that as well. Choose the correct option from those listed below. Write only the correct letter A, B, or C next to the question number in the answer book. For example, 8.6D. Then the first one is saying social media is harmful and can destroy your business, so be careful. The statements from his look, it actually shows that it's incorrect. It can never be possible. And second one, business that promote themselves on social media platforms are unsuccessful, so they need to put a lot of effort on other platforms, which is also not correct. Then we've got you can promote your business effectively through social media, so work hard on using the platform to reach your target, which is actually appropriate and correct. So this is becomes the correct response that we have, which is our C for the paper. That is the paper 2 of November 2022. Hopefully, this video was very helpful. So obviously, our question had a total of 80 marks. Very important to take notes. 80 marks it had. So hopefully the video was helpful. Let's not forget to subscribe and share to our channel. Let's share the link to our colleagues who are doing grade 9 EMS. As we promised, more typical examination questions will be uploaded on this channel. So let's get notified. Let's turn on the notification button so that when we upload new videos, you get notified. As for this video, I'm signing out. Thank you for listening. We'll meet again in the next video.